Maurice here. I haven't done a video in a long time, but I wanted to just talk about a video that I just watched. I want to say happy holidays to everybody. I hope everyone's having a safe holiday season and a good one as well. But I wanted to just talk quickly about a video I just watched. I've rewatched it really actually because I've seen it before. It's with Richard Machowicz, the guy that does Future Weapons. He's the host of Future Weapons. He's been on Deadliest Warrior. He was on there for a while until I think the series is canceled. But he was on there, did the strategic outlining and all that stuff of what was happening. So he's a hand-to-hand expert. I think he's the instructor, but he was a former Navy SEAL. He's got some experience. He understands a few things, and and I was reading the article a little bit, and then I watched the video. Like I said, I rewatched it, and one of the things he said is he's got 3 principles that he uses, that he thinks of, and he believes that this is what it really kind of comes down to. It kind of compiles into, and he says it goes into targets, weapons, and movement. And honestly, those 3 principles can be used in hand-to-hand. They can be used in sport fighting. They can be used in armed fighting. They can be used in firearms. Basically, any type of tactical types of strategy or anything like that. So it's not like that those 3 components are just for like a self-defense situation that normally I talk about, but these can be used in different facets altogether. And I really like those 3 principles. Interestingly enough, it's like, what's funny is how I asked a question a long time ago, have you guys ever seen something and went, man, we've been doing that for a long time. I was taught that for years. Years ago, I was taught that, and I don't understand why everybody thinks it's so new and so great. That's a little interesting to me, or this, you just kind of have these looks. And I think it's funny when you do that and you run into it and you realize that possibly they've been teaching longer than you. They've probably been around longer than you, and you're going, oh, but I've been doing that a long time, but that was never, like a lot of my upbringing was around people that had experience in combat. They had experience in, they were veterans, they were police officers, they were corrections workers and stuff like that. So they were in prison. They had to deal with prisoners. They had to deal with intense certain things. So I've learned from people that already had those types of ideas. So I've been able to compile from people who've had experiences as well as my own experiences. And my mindset was already in that set, was targets. The first thing I tell every one of my students is the targets matter. Okay? You hit those targets. And then you go through basic targets, then as they get better, the intermediate targets, and then the more advanced targets. But most of the time, the vast majority of the time that you're going to fight or you get into self-defense situation, it's basic targeting. Eyes, nose, throat, groin, knees. These are very basic, very right in front of you type of targets that people see, and they will use a lot. So you utilize them in any type of format, I believe. And when you talk about it and how he explained it, and remember, this is Mack. I'm not going to give you the rendition I would have done it, because this simplifies what I was teaching, and I like the way he puts it because it is exactly what I would think. He goes, the target determines the weapon, and that weapon determines the movement. So you need all 3 of those components, but one determines the other. And I believe that is a great way of explaining it, and a very simple way of explaining it, because he's right. He was explaining it. We had a guy with him. If you haven't seen the video, it's a gentleman. He's standing there and he's talking with the whole crew of Black Belt Magazine, and the guy, he's talking with one gentleman, and he grabs his left hand and he's holding it, and he says, now do anything you want to attack my eye. Take out my eye. And the guy just goes in with a thumb press. Real quick, thumb press to the eye. Okay? Then he says, take out my nose. And he punches him in the nose. He just gives a vertical punch right to the nose. He grabs both wrists and says, now take out my nose. And the guy headbutts. So you can look at this and say, oh, wow. It determined everything else. How he moved, how he went forward, what he was doing. And he said what that does is he says the reason why he holds the people, why he does that is because it helps them realize it doesn't, most people are so worried about what's happening to them. They're not worried so much about what they're doing to the person. And one of the things I've stressed in my classes for years, and something I've always told my son and anybody who I've ever taught, is don't worry so much about what they're going to do. You can never determine what that person's going to do. You worry about what you're going to do to that person. You get that shot off first. You get in there as fast as you possibly can. And the reason why I put that out there isn't so much to say to pick the fight. It means the fight's already brought. It's already been picked, and now you already are stepping up to that plate. So that's what you're doing. You're not saying, hey, punch that guy in the face because you just think he's going to do something bad to you. It's something that's already happened. Something's already transpired, and you have been unable to talk your way out of it. You can't get away from it. You can't run away. You can't back off. You can't just get in your car and go. You are in a situation that you must retaliate. And if you have no other options, this is what you got to do. So what do? Man, if I tell a woman, this is what I tell a woman, if a guy's approaching you and he's like, hey baby, what are you doing? And you've already told him no, and I think it's time for you to leave me alone, and you're already standoffish and he's not paying attention to that, I don't care if he doesn't have malicious intent. I don't care what his thing is. I don't care if he's just a drunk idiot. If he gets closer to you and he gets in your space, at that time, jack him as hard and as fast as you can in any way you can. If you have a key, stab him right quick in his eye. You scratch that head. You grab that ear, pull him down. You hit him in the throat as fast as possible. You take control of those targets. You jam his eye. You do whatever you possibly can and have a target already in your sight that you know what you are going to take. I'm going to take out his throat. As soon as he comes up, boom, you're hitting him in the throat. That's what you're doing. Because you're already to that point. And if that guy goes, man, I wasn't even meaning nothing, well, then you should never approach him. Don't be a freaking moron and approach women stupidly. Then you won't get hit in the throat. That's just, that's my opinion. That's just what I take it for. And that's how I teach women not to become victimized. So, and I will stand by that forever and forever. Those three principles work for me big time. Because this is true. Target them out. Make sure and movement. People don't emphasize movement enough. Not only is it the movement of how I'm going to get my weapon to my target, it's also the movement of your body to get out of the line of danger. So many people, and I see this in styles a lot, when they do a technique, they grab the person and they don't really come offline very much. They don't come away from the actual danger that's going to be there. And they don't emphasize getting into the person to put that person away as quickly as possible. No, it's like a block this, do this. You're attacking things and you're not attacking the person enough. That's one of the biggest complaints I've always had. Now, I'm not going to make this too long. So what I want you guys to do is just, do you guys use these principles? Do you use targets, weapons, movement? Do you think it's just too basic? Do you think it's just not enough? I don't know what everyone else has used, but I enjoy it. I like it. I think that these are three basic things. You don't have to overcomplicate it, and I think it will get the job done. So you guys tell me what you think. Please leave your comments below, and I hope to see you guys' comments, and I can't wait to see if you use these principles. If you think it's just not enough, maybe it's just a little too faulty. Let me know what you think and comment, and please share, subscribe, and you know what? Maybe you'll see more things with me here soon. I hope to get back on here sooner rather than later. Doing a few more technique videos. I've had some bad comments already rise up from the troll brigade and all that stuff. So hopefully I can stick them back under their bridge and they can just deal with it later on. But at the same time, guys, I don't care. I will continue to allow them on. But if you troll my site, I'm going to spam you. I'm going to report you, and I'm going to try to get you booted. Because you do no service to this world whatsoever. So I just want you guys to go ahead and just comment freely, but be good critics, not just complete total jerks, okay? All right, guys, continue to stay truthful to your training, okay? Remember, let's talk about martial arts and stay honest. Thanks.